Hello. So this week I wanted to talk about termination, specifically ending of services. So what comes to mind when I think of this topic is in my current field placement, we as case managers have a caseload of about 20 clients. And what's unique about my placement is that we work with individuals who were recently admitted on a behavioral health unit, and then we're their assigned case manager for 30 days post discharge. So basically, once the client is discharged from the hospital, they're assigned a case manager. We reach out to them within 24 hours of discharge. And typically with my clients, I try to be really upfront with them, tell them that our program is only 30 days. It's free to them, just so at the beginning they know that the end of services will come in about a month. And then working with the clients through the 30 days, typically I'll remind them once again about halfway through that we have 2 or 3 weeks left of services. And then the day before services end, we typically will call the client or text the client, let them know that services are ending, ask them if there's anything else that they need as far as longer term case management services. That's something I really try to focus on when I'm working with my clients, connecting them with a community resource that's longer than 30 days that can provide them continuation of care. So termination, it's hard. I guess working with clients for 30 days, it's hard in a sense, but also easier in a sense. Easier in the sense that I'm only working with these clients for 30 days, so I guess it's harder for me to form, I hate to say a meaningful relationship, because I do consider the relationships I've formed with my clients to be meaningful, but I feel like it would be less meaningful than if I work with a client for 6 months to a year. So when I have to sever that relationship after 30 days, it's easier in the sense that we haven't worked together for that long. So I am able to kind of sever those ties pretty easily. I'd say it's hard in the sense that some of the clients I work with during our service term of 30 days, they'll mention to me, like, I don't have anyone. I don't have much support. So the interactions I have with my clients, they find, some of the clients find them to be very helpful. Some of my clients are elderly and they enjoy the calls from me every 2 days or every 3 days, however often we decide we're going to reach out to them. They always tell me how much they enjoy the calls. So, calling them every 2 or 3 days, and then after the 30 days, kind of cutting ties and cutting that relationship is, there's some guilt that comes along with it. Luckily, I have a great manager who has trained us on, how to cut ties properly. If a client reaches out to us after the 30 days, we're typically not supposed to respond unless it's something life-threatening to the client or others. So termination's always, it's tricky. I feel like it's different when I think about my career goals, being a licensed clinical social worker eventually, and working with clients more long term. Some of the termination and ending of services can kind of be a mutual thing between the therapist and the client. If we feel like they've progressed as far as they can go, or if they feel like therapy is no longer needed, I feel like that's almost kind of like a happy ending. Whereas working with the client for 30 days, like I do in my field placement, it's typically not the clients typically don't want to see the services end. So that's been a challenge that I've faced. Another thing that comes along with ending services or termination would be, so when we first get clients to enroll in the 30 days, we complete an M3 assessment. I spoke about that in my last video. It's basically like a mental health screening. And then at the end of the 30 days, we're supposed to do that again. So we do the same M3 assessment with the clients, and then we'll compare that data and see if their scores went down or up. And then that kind of goes into the quality program, and they kind of reflect that in like future trainings and different areas like that. So that's a brief video on ending of services with some of the clients that I work with. And I also want to mention that I did watch watch the confidentiality video posted on Blackboard. And I think that's it. All right, thanks. Bye.